Loomian Legacy is a Pokemon-like turn-based monster taming RPG on Roblox that honestly took me by surprise. I've had several requests in the past to cover this game, but never really felt super interested because I had some preconceived notions about the Roblox engine, but eventually I did decide to give it a try and see what Loomian Legacy had to offer in its current early access state, and I've got to say, I vastly underestimated the potential of monster taming games on this platform, especially considering the fact that more and more Pokemon fan games on the engine are being converted to monster taming games because of copyright infringement, including Pokemon Loomian Legacy, which originated as a Pokemon fan game dubbed Pokemon Brick Bronze. In today's video, I'm going to be going over three major components as it pertains to Loomian Legacy and what I think are three very important pillars when it comes to discussing monster taming games. This includes the game's story and lore, its gameplay and progression, and of course, the monsters present within the game. Once again, do note that Loomian Legacy is still in early access, so certain parts of the game are yet to be completed, which will be a factor in our review, and we will be more lenient on it because of that. Anyways, with all that said, make sure to sit back, relax, and discuss whether or not you should play Loomian Legacy. Alright, so you start your journey off with a strange stone tablet being broken up into many shards and spread across the region. You're later tasked by your father and mother to locate each piece of the tablets, and as a result, you're given your first Lumian partner. You then decide to challenge the various battle theaters, which act sort of like the game's version of gyms, in order to get stronger while keeping in mind your very important mission to locate these slabs. The slabs themselves have been responsible for strange happenings throughout the region, which include corrupting the minds of Lumian and people that are within close proximity to it. You also meet up with other characters along the way that try to aid you, but you also have to bump heads with the obligatory bad guys that are trying to get the slab for evil purposes. At the end of early access, we're given insight into what exactly the slab is, or at least what the legend behind it is, but I'm not going to spoil that for obvious reasons. Overall, the story is nothing revolutionary, nor are its characters, in my opinion, especially these people. They're honestly kind of annoying, but if you're using something like Pokemon as a reference point, I'd say it's pretty standard and serviceable for the type of game that it is. On the flip side, I will say that the lore behind what's causing the slab to corrupt people and the scenery and geography are quite nice. Also, kind of like Pokemon in that regard, where the lore is pretty impressive, but the story can be a little bit middling. In terms of gameplay and story progression, Loomian Legacy, as stated previously, does play a lot like what you'd expect to see in any given Pokemon game, and depending on what you're looking for in your monster taming experience, this can be one of its greatest strengths or weaknesses. Me being someone who is an avid Pokemon fan really loves the fact that this is a thing, but if you find yourself not enjoying games like Nexomon, Coromon, etc., then you probably won't like this game either. The game primarily utilizes single battles, and out of all of the monster taming games I just mentioned, also has the most types, with pretty much all of them being sort of one-to-one Pokemon equivalents. Pokemon has Steel, Lumian has Metal. Pokemon has Fairy, Lumian has Light, etc. The type chart is not exactly one-to-one, however, so you will have to learn new type matchups, but the game does provide you with a guide when you're using a move, showcasing if something's going to be super effective, double super effective, resisted, or doubly resisted. One thing that I do think is pretty cool, because it is on the Roblox engine, is that you can use your same character from any other Roblox game you're playing, so you get to kind of keep your same person moving from game to game. This isn't something Lumian specific, but I do appreciate that when I go play other monster taming games on the platform, I'll be able to use the same character I'm using now. In terms of leveling, the game does scale decently well up until the end, where stuff starts to get a lot stronger and creates a bit of a steep level curve, but overall it's not insurmountable, and since the game is free to play, there are a couple of permanent items that you could buy, like an experience share to make leveling up faster. And even if you do buy all the permanent items in the shop on the Lumian page, it'll still come out to quite a bit less money than Temtem. So I can forgive some microtransactions because honestly, they're not predatory at all. The game progresses in a very linear format, with you traveling from one area to another, battling each of the theaters, following the story path along the way, rinse and repeat. This follows a very similar formula to classic Pokemon, and I do have no issue with this at all. The battle frontiers are much like gyms, except for that they're almost sort of a show of sorts, taking place on TV, each with their own unique puzzle, then culminating in a battle against the leader. Again, very similar to Pokemon, and you're gonna hear the word Pokemon a lot here. But I will say the puzzles and battles are very enjoyable. In terms of battling, the main difference between this and Pokemon is the stamina system, which makes it so that moves require a set stamina amount, and you have the option of waiting to recover a little bit of stamina, or resting and lowering your defenses to regain a lot of stamina. both actions cost your turn. You can also choose to struggle if you're too low on stamina, which, much like Pokemon, will damage the enemy and then damage yourself. I think the system works and is one of the earlier monster taming games in the modern era of the genre to adopt this system. But yeah, in terms of gameplay, basically expect something like Pokemon, but with its own unique types, a stamina system, gyms, and more. The game also features a trading hub for you to trade various Lumians, a mastery system which levels up as you complete certain tasks with your Lumians, which can ultimately unlock the ability to find a second shiny variant, and the developers even do events here and there. Currently, at the time I'm putting this video together, there is an event called the Sweet Retreat where you can find certain food-inspired Lumians, so that's pretty cool too. In terms of monster designs, I do think Lumian has a really good roster overall. You could check out the wiki to see every monster, but I do feel like the pulled out renders used for the pictures don't really do it justice in comparison to how they actually look in the game. There are a lot of Pokemon tropes like the early game bird, the early game bug, and Eevee equivalent, but there are also a ton of really cool and unique monsters, especially this one. He kind of reminds me of that first boss from Ocarina of Time, and I love it. All in all, if you're looking for a Pokemon-like experience that isn't Pokemon, whether it be you're looking for an alternative or just want something to supplement that Pokemon addiction, Loomian Legacy is definitely a solid Pokemon-like game that honestly surprised me and opened up my mind to the idea that you can have a good monster taming experience on Roblox. Again, if you're someone looking for a more nuanced and unique experience, this will likely not be the game for you, but I personally had an absolute blast with it, and I highly recommend people check it out. I mean, the game is free, so even if you try it and don't like it, you're not losing anything. So with all that being said, if you did find this review useful or interesting, and you are a fan of either Loomian Legacy or monster taming games in general, definitely subscribe to my channel because I put out new videos every single day. Also check out my Patreon, my Twitter, and my Discord, all links below. Special thanks to the patrons, especially Jim Hamilton, Droghost, and Dark Persona, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.